What's good, everybody? I'm BPC and welcome to Competitive Origins MMA. Well, Michael Iron Chandler faced off against Dan the Hangman Hooker at UFC 257 in the co-main event. Now, the number 6 ranked Dan the Hangman Hooker had just fought against Dustin Poirier in a 5-round decision loss in which a lot of people called Fight of the Year. But what I did notice in that fight is he was able to take the best shots that Dustin Poirier was going to hand out. So it looked to be that Dan Hooker was going to be a very durable fighter and built to match up well against, Michael Chandler. Now, Michael Chandler, on the other hand, is a 3-time Bellator champion. But there are a lot of questions to be answered here. Was Michael Chandler, only good because he was in the B League? Was he going to be able to step it up into the A League, the UFC, and be able to perform at the level that he had done for so many years in Bellator MMA? Well, the fight began and, Dan looked to be fighting very cautious. He looked to be very wary of the power that Michael Chandler had in those hands. And therefore, he kind of stayed on the outside and kept, littering Michael Chandler with leg kicks. Michael Chandler did pressure him, and basically at the point he seemed like he got frustrated at times because Dan kept moving around the ring and moving, So therefore, you'd see his hands drop to the side, kind of like, all right, man, let's fight. I'm here for a reason, And, he would then kind of charge at him and he would land a body shot. And then, Hooker would keep moving around and circling around, and Michael Chandler would chase after him and stuff, drop his hands, pick his hands back up, land another body shot, And then it just got to the point where Michael Chandler kind of looked like he got kind of frustrated and started loading up, and then started going for the knockout punches. And Michael Chandler, Dan Hooker got on the bike and started pedaling around, to avoid all these powerful shots. But he did keep landing the body shots. Well, Dan the Hangman Hooker landed a really good calf kick, probably his best kick of all night. And you could see that did hurt Michael Chandler, and he knew he was not going to be able to take a lot of those shots throughout the entire fight if this was to continue. And that's basically when he stepped it up even more. He got really aggressive and he started charging after Dan the Hangman Hooker, and he actually landed a body shot, which he had been doing the entire fight, but it was more or less a setup. He threw a right body shot and then followed it up with a left hook, dropping Dan the Hangman Hooker to the floor. Isn't that interesting? A hook dropped Hooker to the floor. Well, he littered him with a whole bunch of shots, and I think it was at this point that he realized if he was able to get Dan Hooker out of this fight, he'd be able to go home and watch Competitive Origins MMA as quick as possible. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you can be notified as soon as these videos go live. And don't forget to hook the like button. Now, as it continued, Mark Goddard watched it, and he gave Dan the Hangman Hooker every opportunity to get up. He basically encouraged him, show me something, show me something. And, Hooker basically had no response for it, and he had to jump in there and save him. Now, following the fight, he got his hand raised, Michael Chandler, and then he called out Conor McGregor, he called out Dustin Poirier, and he called out the champion Khabib Nurmagomedov. Now, with Conor, he basically said there's a new king in town. With Dustin Poirier, he said your time has come. And with Khabib, he said if you decide to grace us with your presence, come beat me. That's basically his call out. He then followed it up with a couple other things. I felt like I always encourage fighters to basically get on the mic and do a great job, right? And he did that part by calling out all these different fighters. I feel he slipped up a little bit because he pre-planned all the other things that he was going to say. It was like my bootstraps this and da-da-da-da-da-da. And it was just so long, it just felt not organic. It was almost like somebody's on the mic and you're like, all right, spit a freestyle. And then they go ahead and say the lyrics of one of their albums. And you're just kind of like, all right, we already knew that. That wasn't impressive or anything like that. So that part didn't impress me much. He did also do a Ric Flair quote, which to the WWE fans, people would appreciate. But I felt like he dropped the ball a little bit on that aspect of it. But he did call out 3 fighters, which was great. That's what he should be doing. Now, DC basically said, as far as UFC debuts, that's as good as they get. And Dana White was even asked in the post-fight press conference what he thought about the debut. And basically, Dana couldn't really think of a debut that was as good as, Michael Chandler's as well, at the moment. Obviously, you're putting him on the spot. He's not going to go ahead and think of every single fighter that he recalls, But a reporter did mention at the end of the post-fight conference that, hey, there was a fighter by the name of Anderson Silva that had a great debut. And I thought about that. It took Michael Chandler about 2.5 minutes to get the victory. Anderson Silva in his debut fought against Chris Lieben, and he was able to get 2 TKOs in the first minute before they finally stopped the fight. So I think, Anderson Silva, the Spider, had the better debut, but that's just my opinion. Go into the comment section below. Let me know who you thought had the better debut, Anderson Silva or Michael Chandler. Tell me what you thought about Dan the Hangman Hooker's performance. Did you think he was wary of the fist, and that's maybe what got him caught up and got him, knocked out, And what did you think about Michael Chandler's performance? His strategy. Do you think he was just trying to get in there and get out? Do you think maybe he didn't feel his cardio was going to hold up? Tell me what you thought it was, because he didn't really try to wrestle in this fight too. Is there a reason why you thought maybe he wasn't going for the whole wrestling aspect? Do you think the Hangman was going to be really difficult to get down? Dustin Poirier did, have a tough time getting him down as well, So go into the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And who do you even see, Michael Chandler facing off against next? He did call out Conor McGregor. He did call out Dustin Poirier, and he did call out Khabib Nurmagomedov. Who do you think is likely, and who do you see winning that fight if they do face off? Go to competitiveorigins.com. Don't forget to type in promo code MMA63 so you can get 10% off this Competitive Origins Just an Obstacle t-shirt. Thank you for tuning in today, guys. And remember, you've been competing since conception, whether you're competing against yourself or others. Competitive Origins.